How's it going, everybody? I'm Drifty from Driftwood Gaming. We're going to do our episode number 13, Let's Make a Game episode on the Dungeons of Driftwood. We got new title screen art by Theisen. Pretty cool. Also goes by Sinistar. I'm thinking about remaking these pictures. I might do that in this episode. The icons here. Let's start a new game. So I've added I've kind of changed up how I'm doing the creator's blessing points, so that they're not completely useless in the game. They're just not as super important as they were at the beginning of this project, but they're still somewhat in there, and they're not specific between each character. They basically will affect all of the characters that you hire. So if we scroll down, we can see our skill bonuses right here. And as you are awarded skill creator's blessing points, you can allocate them into any bonus you want and basically give a little bit of a bonus to the damage formula. I've made their effect on certain skills a lot greater because overall you're going to be getting a lot less of them throughout the game. So that'll also give some replayability because you may want to focus on different, skills. This is Ganfly's status core plugin. I'm also using the actor variables and stuff like that. This menu is Soul Powers menu, and I still need to add. I've had this on my to-do list for a long time. Add a description for what each thing does. It's pretty straightforward. I might just actually get rid of this whole section and bring this up, because you go over item. What do you think it's gonna do, right? Skills, what do you think that's going to do? Do I really need a help description right there? I don't know. But anyway, you start off. Actually, where you're going to be starting when I put the storyline in is on a different map, but for now we're going to keep it right there. And we'll declare the variables on the starter map. So as you start, you're going to be given like a slight tutorial on a very basic tutorial that'll be mostly skippable. That'll tell you want to hire people and get some gear for your hirelings. And one new system I put in since the last episode is I basically I've linked all the maps together and made a little system on this particular one so that you can pay like a sign-on bonus, and I'll go over the event in a little bit. This sign-on bonus is going to let you increase the experience of the next person you hire. You offer them more money, so you're going to get basically stronger people wanting to get on your party. But you can actually offer no sign-on bonus and still get a party member. So you can hire as many people as you want for free. But if you hire a mercenary, you get the option to include a sign-on bonus. And if you say yes, you can still hit 0, and it works the same as if you say no, I don't want to include a sign-on bonus. But you get the option to add, see, we start with 1,000, and I might change that later on. But you can put in any number you want up to 5 digits. And if you were to put, 100K, 99999, then it'll take you up to about 37, I think. And the max level is 1,000, but all of the classes that I've got done are only built up to level 100. Actually 99. So after 100, it's just parameter changes. I might do something, but I've still got a lot of classes to add. That's why I also want to maybe do the another class in this episode. Start adding the Dark Knight class. Yeah, let's take this. Remember, right now, in the last episode, I said I had all these done, except I didn't say Monk, but I actually had Monk done. So Warrior, Monk, White Mage, Black Mage, Red Mage, Thief, Paladin are done. We're going to do Dark Knight in this episode, or start it. It's going to take a while for it. But let's go ahead and hire her as a Black Mage. And you can see that since we put 1,000 gold sign-on bonus, that we're getting like a few skills, right? We're getting a little bit of a sign-on bonus. So she levels up, she gets new skills, we get to name her. We got that new Black Mage at level 7. So let's hire a couple more people. We actually don't have any more coins, so let's hire this person. Is going to be our Paladin, I guess. And let's just go ahead and I'll show you where I've linked up the shops. So in this shop, you've got different items that you can buy, mostly all potions right here, and then just added the soft liquid to remove petrified. I'm going to also add, an item that's going to cure poison, cure paralysis, and cure everything. All the states will have their own healing item, but also I'll make some items that heal multiple states. But this is like a double shop, because you can buy enchanted items. Right now I've only got the amulets in the shop, and these you don't buy these with gold, you buy these with greenbacks, and you get the greenbacks from gems that you find from killing creatures and opening treasure chests and stuff. Basically that's going to let you sell those or trade those for greenbacks, and then you use those gems to buy like jewelry, stuff like that. I'm also considering adding like a little crafting system so that you can craft them into jewelry. Probably do that for like the higher tiers. You won't be able to buy them. You'll have to get them from a drop from an enemy, or you'll have to like craft them yourself. So actually what those pendants do, I might have gone over this a long time ago. They're adding a little bit of potency, and what I'm using to make this work is I'm using Yanfly's element core, and this lets me add like a multiplication effect, so I can multiply all the damage that you do. Say for instance this pendant of ice, if you're wearing this, then all of your ice abilities that are triggered as ice abilities will get a 10% bonus in damage based on just having a potency on it. And that's done with the note tag. I like that because we don't have to use a state for that. You can just put it as a note tag, and it doesn't lag the computer at all. So we're still running at 144 frames per second. I don't know what exactly is causing the bug, but I'm not complaining because all I've done is reduce the movement speed, so you can't even tell that we're running at 144. Well, I mean, maybe you can. I can, but I'm sure some of you can. However, the recording's at 60 frames per second, so it does take away a little bit. So this is the weapon armor shop, and you can only buy the tier 1 stuff here, and not even all of the tier 1 stuff, just the lower part of tier 1. So you have bronze and iron in the tier 1, so yeah, this is just to get you going if you don't want to pay for extra experience, which I would recommend you don't hire and spend your starting gold on better mercenaries. You would be a better idea to buy some weapons and buy some armors. That way you're going to get more bang for your buck that way. Also, you see that they're going to cost gear points. The orange coin, those will be gear points, so I'm going to be awarding those as well. Let's take a look at the CB point, which is your I want to change this up. I made this a long time ago. I want to change this up. It looks pretty basic, you have like a picture drawn to the screen, and you've got to show choices, and it's not too flashy. I want to probably remake this so that it looks better, but I mean this will work for now, but I want to remake this and then show pictures on top of this picture by specifying layer, I guess, or draw order even. And then the player will be able to click on one, like the picture of the skill. So for like cold resist, I'll put like a shield and then like ice in front of it, and I think that would look better. Especially Yanfly came out with the new plugin today. So anyway, you can't escape out of it. You have to pick one when you use the item, because there's no way. I could make you cancel out, and when you cancel out, reward the CB point back, but I just thought, oh, excuse me, I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll give you the option, press escape, cancel out. Maybe you don't know what you should get yet, and then when you cancel out, we'll just add an L handler. It just re-awards that CB point, because it will consume it to open up this menu. Let's just say elemental for now. Get a little animation, your skill levels increased. It opens up the status automatically, so you can kind of go to your skill bonuses. You can see that the elemental bonus has gone up one more level. Once you get to the town, which is basically where we're going to start, you'll do the little quick tutorial. Before the tutorial fully ends, it will bring the player to this spot to let them know how to, which I'm also going to move it. I'm not going to have it this house. I'm going to have like some sort of outside thing, that because it seems like you're teleporting up, and I'm going to use this house for something else. I haven't figured it out yet, but you get artifact tokens from taking on challenges, and you get a lot of them for beating the challenges for the first time. And then after you beat it for the first time, you can still get artifact tokens, but they're a lot harder to get. You have to use a specific strategy on the boss, either inflict elemental damage on it or inflict a status effect on the boss to get the artifact token. And it's not 100% like it was at the beginning. I think it's better if it's a 50% chance, just to add a little more content to the game, because you're going to be leveling up, because artifacts can be super powerful. Like that was a really good one right there. That was a 10-star weapon right there, a coral sword. Extremely, extremely good item to have right at the beginning. That's not bad, not bad. More fight spear. And in this pool right now, we've got 290 something items, I think, or 280. If you actually look at the artifact token, it tells you how many is in the pool, because every time I add more, I update the description on it. So we got good drops, really, really good drops. We got the coral sword is really, really good. Look at the bonuses on that. 220 strength. So this is going to carry the player, and it's just element of randomness to it. You know, it's very. Another thing I noticed is you can tell that the game's running more than twice as fast by the speed that the clock goes. So I don't know what to do about that. I might have to do something about that. If I do want to keep it running at 144, I might need to add something to check to see if you're using the plugin, which I'm going to include, the sync monitor FPS. If we turn it on, look at the clock. Wait, hold on. Did it actually affect it? No, it still seems to be running pretty fast, but it really slows down everything else. But the clock still runs even with the sync monitor FPS. So even with that on, look at the clock. It's going super fast, even though the game is slowed down to run 60 FPS. So until we figure this bug out a little bit more, we're going to have the clock running super fast, and I'm not sure what to do about it yet. Anyway, this is the map. Wait, nope, not this one. Scroll down. These are by Jason. These maps are by Jason, aka Noob. And so what I'm thinking is starting the player right here, like, you know, facing down, but right here. And then have like maybe somebody out here. I haven't thought of the story for it yet. I have a general outline of what I'm going to be doing with the story, but I haven't created like all of the characters. All I've done is thought of names for them and stuff. So there'll be somebody sitting here fishing, and then there'll be like a flash of light, and then you appear here, and there'll be some tropiness, of course, where you don't know how you got there, of course, because the player doesn't know how they got there. So instead of just overloading the player with the page or, you know, a novel of a bunch of storyline about how they got there, just, you know, leave it open-ended. Let the player draw their own conclusions, and it may be later on in the story we can gradually flash back to what happened before you were teleported to this planet or this world or this dimension or whatever I want to do with that. But there'll be some kid here fishing, and or maybe a guy fishing, and you know, flash of light and the screen shakes or whatever, and you come down and have some parallel process where it shows like smoke or something, like you crash landed or something, and he'll freak out, jump, and run up to check on you, see if you're okay, and then give you like the introduction, like, oh, here's the town, and then maybe even do a move event that causes you to go up, but maybe not. I think what I'll do is on this, this will take you to the outside of the map. This little right here will take you to the exit to the world. I also might need to move that event over because it actually says exit to world. It's on this tile. If I put it right here, but a blank event with just the event mini label, it'll say exit to world, but it'll still be teleported on that tile. So I could do that. We'll fix that. But to world works fine too. But what I might do is change that teleport event so that the first time before you've gone into the town, you has to have a switch for it to teleport you out to the world map. Like it just pushes you back, you know, like you walk to it and it says, I should check I should head to the town first or something, as what this character would tell you to do. So you can't exit to the world right there. And then the player is going to be able to have free reign to run around. I might even put like a slime or two up in this little grass area that just kind of runs in a circle or whatever, and then the player can get into a fight with it if they want to or not. to kind of test the battle system if they want to. The game is going to revolve around the battle system a lot, so it's going to be most of its strength is not going to fall on its storyline. You know, it might be good, but I'm not predicting that it's Final Fantasy VI story. You know what I mean? Trying to be realistic with it. It's going to have a decent storyline with some maybe a few good moments, but basically it's going to have kind of a lighthearted story. There might be some depth to it later on, but I'm not going to basically make it all dread at the beginning. It'll be kind of lighthearted, and then towards the end, if I feel like the character goes in a certain direction where there could be some sort of heaviness to the story, I might introduce that then and there. But it's to be decided. So the player will walk up here, and then they can check this, and I'll add an event here that shows to the, right to town, and then north to like the hermit's shack or something. I'm going to do something with this little house, which currently it doesn't do anything, so you could just walk up on the door. So I'll just put an event here that teleports you. Fade out screen, fade in screen, all that stuff. Takes you to another interior. I have to make the interior for that. I'll probably make these carrots passable. The Anfly's region restriction plugin, so you can go to the dock. I also want to add like a little fishing mini game. Nothing crazy, just a little fishing mini game where maybe like you have like a bar that goes across the screen, and then you have to press it when the bar hits the center, and then maybe another one that goes up and down, and you have to press it when it's in the center. Or maybe I'll have it randomized where you have to press it at, and it'll bounce back and forth, bounce back and forth, bounce back and forth, and then when you hit it, it'll pull it up, and then you can get the fish. And all you would need is bait to go fishing with, and a pole. Whether I'll do different tiers of how strong your fishing pole is, or if I do different tiers of like bait or not, I don't know yet. Right now I'm thinking something simple, just a little mini game type thing to distract the player. We got a problem here. I have to do region restrictions on that, so we're going to do that too. While I'm at it, let's test if there's any more. If it's just that one, try to find some places we can kind of make the game break up here too. So on this tile, it's funny because it's just on that side. I think it's because of no, it's not that. It's just something else that revolves around the map. So okay, so one up here, and then right there. Okay, so we'll take a look at that in a minute. I see why, because you want to be able to walk right here because it makes sense, but this tile is also passable. There might be some way to make it so that you can only pass from a certain direction, and I know in previous versions of RPG Maker you can make a tile so that you can only pass to the right, not the left, because going this way, if you make a little jump and a sound effect, then it'll work like you jumped off the cliff. But then I would think you would probably jump from the top here to like right here, there, instead of up here. But this going from this tile to there does not make sense to me, so we won't really doing that. Alright, so we'll keep an eye out for more bugs that we need to fix. Most of these are easy things. Region restriction, fix that in a few seconds. But also on this tile, before you go into the town and get the next part of the very small tutorial, you'll walk up, and instead of exiting to the world map, it'll push you back down and say I should probably check out the town first or something like that. But right now it teleports you to the world map. So how those maps actually link up are right here. So when you start from the beginning, you'll walk up, and remember that we got here and we went up and said, so if you go right, this will take you to the town. And then when you get here, there'll probably be a little auto run event where there's another person in town who runs up and be like, oh, is this the person you saw? Insert name of that NPC, and then put a little bit of dialogue, and then something something, and then warn the player that there are, I don't know if I want to do the tropiness where I hear the monsters are coming back, or monsters are getting more dangerous, because you expect that in an RPG, right? You're gonna have battles. So I might mention something, definitely want to mention something about this house so that the player will want to come in here and hire party members to get in their group. And then also, I mean, the shops are pretty self-explanatory, so I don't really need to lead the players to it. I want to let the players discover and reward exploration. So if you manage to go into the shop, you know, maybe put, I think scattering lots of consumables about the map would be a good idea too. Like, not too many, but some consumables that you might be able to find throughout the map for crafting things. And like I said, I want to change this so that it's not a building. Maybe add something up here. Or even change the map a little bit and have it so that it's up here. Like you, maybe, I don't know. Somewhere. It would actually make sense if I add it like right here or something on this little area. Maybe actually right here would make sense. Add like a little event right there. That will teleport you up. And something flashy that catches the player's eye. And basically it'll do this event that you run up to, or teleport up to the token, artifact token shop thingy. But it's not really a shop, it's a gashapon. And when I hire, I probably change the hireling system. So when you hire them, the guy will say, be sure to equip your new mercenaries or something, to remind the player that they don't have any gear when you get a new actor, because they are instanced. And I could have them start with something. That's another thing I'm thinking about. Just have them start with something, because if I instance them, I think they'll still start with whatever I put on the base class. And I might do that. At least a weapon and the chest. Actually, I want to test that. So anyway, when the player gets here, there'll be a basic storyline. Before you leave town, you'll know that there's a like a minotaur on the loose that the player needs to sort of take care of, right? You know, you need to kill like a minotaur because it's threatening the town and we can't travel to the next town or something. So the player will have the option to go here and kill the roaming minotaur if they, you know, so desire. And then when they enter this little event, you know, there's no encounters on the map. So you can walk around and explore all you want. You will not get attacked by anything random. When you want to fight, you know, if you want to explore, you can do that. If you want to fight, you have these challenges here. You walk on them, and the player's prompt with a little bit of information, letting the player know, you don't have to read this. You know, you can hit enter the hope in the hills, you know. But if you want a little bit of hints on how to beat the boss, he's really weak to blind. You blind him, and he's not going to do very much to you. He might hit you, you know, every. I think the 60% is the accuracy reduction, so he could miss already with the 5 to 10% chance, and you put another 60% on that. So you're looking at like he'll hit you a third of the time, and it shouldn't be too hard once you have a full party. Even with half a party, well, I've set to level 30, so instead of starting everybody at level 1, all the hirelings, mercenaries, going to start at level 1, but I think Driftwood will start at level 5 to 10, not 30, but 5 to 10, just to start them off. I don't even know if I'll keep that name Driftwood, but I probably will. But also, you won't start with any of these except branding slash, and all of these are going to cost 100 TP. How you're going to get these is when you kill creatures. We'll kill these creatures, and when you kill them, they drop orbs, and the orbs are used to create different things, possibly like amulets and magical artifacts, but mainly abilities, skills and abilities in limit bursts. So these will all be upgraded. You're going to be able to exchange your orbs for higher grade orbs, so even killing the low level stuff eventually can lead into higher level stuff. So you're not going to have this ability when you're playing the first time. You're basically just going to have attack and your basic skills that you would normally have. You're going to have all of your 30 cooldown abilities, which are quite strong. Mighty Strikes is going to make every hit become a critical, and you hit twice normally as a warrior. So Berserk's going to increase your strength, reduce your vitality. Defender does the same, reduces your strength, increases your vitality. So using them both, they'll basically cancel out. If you use both of these abilities, they're instant, so you can use them both in the same turn. They're going to basically do nothing. So if you Berserk and Defender, nothing happens. I'm thinking about changing it so that you get 25% strength minus 20% vitality for the Berserk, and then Defender does minus 20% strength but plus 25% vitality. So if you use them both, then you gain a 5% stat bonus to both. But I kind of don't know if I want to do that exactly, because it's sort of like, what mode do you want to go in? Or do you want to go into an attack stance or a defensive stance? I'm also considering making Defender add a small amount of magic defense. Not sure if I want to do that or not. Because as a warrior, you would be weak to some sort of magic. You don't have a lot of magic defense. Provoke is going to basically make it so that that target, that creature, the thing you use Provoke on, only attacks you. And it's got a very small cooldown. So we could do that. Boom. That thing is going to definitely attack Driftwood. And let's do Berserk. It's going to increase our attack power. But then we're going to use something that actually uses our magic attack, so we wouldn't really notice much of a difference on the damage on that. The players will level up. As a general thing, you get 1 gold for every 2 experience, and when you pay a mercenary to get like an experience bonus, you're paying 1 for 1. So unless you've already played for a while and you've already got a party of 6, but you want to create another character as a different job, there's 2 ways you can do it. I'm going to include boss battles that drop testimonies. Like, it'll be a warrior fight, and you have to fight a warrior, and that NPC's or that creature's got a bunch of warrior abilities at an appropriate level. I don't know if I'll make it a set level. I might always make it the level of the party, so that there's no min or max level on it. It'll be an increasingly difficult challenge depending on the level of the party. At level 30, hitting a level 5 boss, no problem, right? And so, like I was saying, there's 2 ways to get another job. Here we go, our first time bonus. We get 3 artifact tokens and 100 gear points, and the gear points you saw in the shop are used to buy weapons and armors. I might abolish that system, but every creature drops gear points. It's just another way to throttle from buying a bunch of stuff at the same time, so it'll be gradual progression. So if you do get like a bronze piece out of the Gashapon system, it still might be an upgrade because you have 6 people. You should buy most of your stuff after the first challenge. So that was pretty easy because I was using high level abilities. Also, I didn't equip the awesome sword we got, the coral sword. So we took that sword off. I think Paladin uses sword as well, so let's optimize. Put the bronze one on the Paladin. And I kind of got off track what I was going to say. But anyway, you can continue exploring and taking on different challenges if you want. But you've completed that challenge, so you can do it again if you want to do it again. But you won't get the first time bonus this time because you've already got it. But you can still get an artifact token if you blind the boss. So the black mage will get blind, the red mage will get blind at different levels. So we got our artifact tokens. We can come back and draw artifacts. Nebesite Bangle. Getting some good drops on this one. Morphite Dagger. You have the most chance to get low level stuff like that, A silver, we're out of tokens, so it won't let us do that anymore. For how you save the game, there is a little bit of thing, a system that checks to see if you have any artifact tokens. Because what some players can do, I know it would be an easy exploit to just do a bunch of missions and get like 10 artifact tokens, save the game, go get 10 items, and then if you don't like what you got, load the game and get 10 more items. So you can't save if you're holding an artifact token, so you actually have to use your tokens before you can save the game. So I had to remove Yanfly's save core because it draws the face images, and the way I'm using the actors is I'm instancing these actors with HimeWorks plugin instance actors. But when you try to draw, like it can, if you save with the core, it'll work in this game. But say you go to like load a game at the beginning, before you've loaded a game that's instanced those actors and updated the JSON file, because it's like temporary. It just does it temporarily. Because all the actors are instanced at 1000 and then up. So this actor is actor number 1000, this is 1001, and the next one will be 1002. But when you try to access a JSON file that doesn't have data there, the game's going to crash. So whenever I try to load the face at the beginning of a game, it'll crash. So until I should probably notify Yanfly about this. I didn't even make, because it's not like his job to make his plugins compatible with everybody else's plugins. He does that, but you know, I don't know if I'll probably just send him a message saying that it would be a cool feature to have if you can update the save core so that the drawing the face image is optional, you know, because it's not right now. And last time I checked in the parameters. Let's get another party member. Let's say we get a monk. Hire a monk. I kind of like the way this guy looks. He sort of just looks like a monk to me. So we're gonna get Volks as our monk. And it would be a good idea to just fill up your party right at the beginning. Get 6 party members. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. So there's 2 ways to get, you know, another job, right? You can either hire another party member and select the job for that party member. But later on, there's going to be more jobs than the ones that you can pick just at the hire mercenary thing. So some jobs, that's way far off, will only be able to be obtained once you get the testimony and do a job change, because we're using Yanfly's class change core. So we can actually switch our job up if we go to skill, and then we learn skills, or our skill. Each job has the ability to unlock the other jobs. So what you can do is, as a warrior, you can unlock the monk. All you need is JP and the testimony, which will be, like I said, you kill the boss, and then, like, say we want to unlock monk, we're going to have to fight a monk. That's our level. So I probably won't level lock that. It'll just be whatever level the party is, then that's the level of using Yanfly's enemy levels plugin. Whatever level the party is, the highest level in the party, that's going to be the level of the boss you fight. And that boss will have all of the monk skills. And you beat it, you get the monk's testimony. Then you could turn any one of your existing characters, change the job into that job. That way you don't have to have 20 characters to have all the jobs, or 30 characters to have all the jobs. You can have just a party of 6 and then swap them back and forth if you want to do that. Also, later on, I want to add the sub job, but the problem with the sub job, man, I wish it would work like Final Fantasy XI, but it's not programmed to do it that way using Yanfly's sub job plugin. How it works is whatever, like, say we have Bard unlocked, right, and we have Bard at level 10. Even if we switch to Warrior, if we go Warrior/Bard, then our Warrior that's level 1 is going to have all of the level 10 Bard stuff, because that character actually has level 10 Bard, even though our Warrior is only level 1. And that just seems a little too powerful for me. But I might actually add it and do something where it doesn't get all the skills or something. Maybe it just gets like parameter buffs or something, you know. I would like to add the sub job, but it's not exactly how I want it to be, and I've got a ton of other things I've got to do anyway. So that's something that's on the to-do list, and maybe it will be added, maybe it won't. I think I've gone over this. All of these stat changes are based on the character. So even if you switch jobs, so we're Warrior right now, and we can spend Warrior JP to upgrade our HP. Matter of fact, we'll do that, but you can see that the cost increases. So you won't be able to just dump all of your stats or all of your JP into one stat and just, you know, kind of min-max, find the best couple stats and just put everything into that. You can still do that, but as you keep putting more and more points into it, it starts getting more and more expensive for the same amount. So you're going to get diminishing returns on that. So you might want to, you know, say, well, all of these stats are sort of important. Well, maybe not magic attack power, wisdom, you know, for a warrior, so we'll skip that one. Magic defense, sure, that one will be helpful. Speed would be a great choice, maybe not so much charisma, so I might go max HP, strength, vitality, willpower, and speed. And then, you know, focus on those, not instead of just HP or instead of just, you know, strength or whatever. But if I were to switch jobs into like a monk and I go to learn skills, then these costs are going to stay the same. It's still going to have 800 for max HP, and these stats will carry over to the level 1. So you can still become a level 1 with higher parameters if you've leveled up another job. So that's another incentive to not just hiring another member, instead switching jobs on the same member. So that's why I've kept it in. It took like a little bit of maneuvering to make it work like that, but I'm really happy how it turned out, and I definitely want to include that system. which makes it better than just like, you know, the Brave Exvius kind of way where you just hire a new person even though it's the same. Yeah. So yeah, and then for the inn, how it works is, okay, let's I want to show you this. If you go to the inn, you have the option to rest the night for 100 coins. Say not right now, nothing happens. But if you have over 100 coins or more, it'll use those coins and take it from you. But if you don't have 100 coins, it'll still let you rest. So it's basically like, it's not a free inn. If you can afford it, you have to pay for it. If you can't, you can still use it. Sort of setup. You can shop for weapons. Who's in my party? The monk is in my party. Doesn't have weapons, so let's add some weapons for that. For the monk. And the black mage needs a weapon. We can optimize. And let's get a weapon for... Let's get a staff. You can use a staff or a dagger. We'll use a staff. Since it's adding magic attack power, it's going to help the black mage's abilities. But the dagger, we actually have a dagger. So that dagger is a much better than the... Since it's a, you know, tier 8. It's an 8-star. And basically, I've put stars on items to let the player know how strong it is without having to do all the math. Without having to, okay, well, let's see, 90 plus 90, and that's 180, then 270, and then, okay, look at this stat on this weapon. Which one's actually better? I don't know which one's... You know, it's just easier if you see, oh, 7 and 8. I know the 8-star is going to be better because I've made it that way. And what kind of armors we can get? We can also use, we're using Yanfly's shop menu core, so we can kind of press right and just see if we're going to get a stat gain from what we're already using. Let's just buy that, let's buy that. Oh, that's all of our coins. Okay, so let's equip and optimize, hit the W to go to the next member, next member, next member. Alright, so they're all optimized. And you can have up to 6 party members. So once we've got that, now we see that we only have 34 coins, right? So if we go talk to this, hello, would you like to recover your strength in our finest room? It's only 100 coins. If we say yes, well, I'm afraid you don't have enough to stay, but I'm going to let you stay for free this time. We can't just have you sleeping in the rain. So then there's a auto move event, auto run event, quick fade out, fade in, party's fully restored, another auto move. And then boom, the player's given control again. You can save the game if you don't have any artifact tokens. We'll save the game and continue on our merry way. When we come back into the town after beating the Hill Minotaur, there'll be an auto run event. So the player's going to be teleported, and there'll be a parallel process or an auto run that has a conditional switch if Minotaur has been beat, it's turned on, and also there'll be another condition that says a certain switch is off, you know, because if you have that on, then every time you enter the town after the point of beating the Minotaur, you'll get this auto run event. So it takes 2 switch conditions for this parallel process event or auto run event that I haven't even made yet, but I know what I'm going to do with it. It's going to fade out the screen. It's going to teleport the player to a certain point on the map where there'll be events and enemies, and or not enemies, but there'll be like the town people. Or maybe even teleport inside this house, like a mayor's house or something. And they'll be like the next part of the storyline. Oh, thank you for healing the Hill Minotaur, but we still have more problems, right? Because you can't have a good story if there's no problems. It's got to be, there has to be problems for the player to resolve in order to have this little glowy thing as a test event. It's not going to be there. That's just for testing a simple fight. So then the next problem would be, some of our like our merchants have been getting ransacked through the forest passage or blah blah blah. I'm like, well, it would make sense if you would just avoid the forest, right? I don't know how I'm going to do the story. Like I said, that story's going to come at the very end, actually, when I link all of the systems together. But then the player's going to have to come through here. So they could either keep doing the first fight or even skip this one, go do a harder challenge, do whatever they want, really. But as far as the story progression is, this would be the next step in the story progression. But they're not forced into this battle. They don't have to do it. To beat the game, you're going to have to go through the main story. But you can basically do whatever you want in the game. You can. It's sort of open-ended. We can see that our black mage is leveled up. We now have blind. So we'll be able to farm that first event, and basically every time we get to the boss, 50% chance if we land the blind that it's going to drop an artifact token, which is going to help us a lot because that token is going to give us the chance to get some good gear, which will let us not have to grind as much, right? We don't have to put as many fights in because we've got these super powerful gears. So that's another way that I've eliminated grinding until the very end game. If you want to take on the optional challenges, you'll have to do some grinding, I bet. I haven't even made that yet, but I'm just thinking how I'm going to make it. Eliminate a lot of the grinding because of the powerful gear that you're going to be given if you take advantage of that system. So once you get to the end of this thing, this is sort of like the layout, the where I'm going with the game, you know, my thoughts and processes. You kill this creature, and you go back to the town, and then the next thing will probably be not the next event. The next thing will be to take some goods to a different town. So the next town, we killed it, got the beast slain, leveled up a little bit. Also, experience is distributed equally between all of the active party members in the battle. So say you have 10 party members. Well, only the 6 that were in the battle are going to get experience. Now, if you're using 4 instead of 6, those 4 are going to get a bigger cut of all the experience that's awarded. If you use one party member, that party member is going to level up really fast because it's going to get 100% of all the experience gained. So experience is distributed. So you could actually do this with one party member if you want to. Or you could fill up your party and do a party of 6 members. So it's really up to the player how they want to go about doing this. That's why I'm also making the hirelings that you... the mercenaries you hire, they will have no dialogue in the main storyline because there's no way that I can predict what the player is going to do. There's no way that I can predict if the player is going to even hire any of them at all. So the main protagonist will have dialogue, and there will be story dialogue. It'll be some sort of it'll be narrative driven, not so much character driven. Like my last game, Legend of Driftwood, which is free for everyone to play. You guys can check that out. That's very character driven. It's narrative, but it's mainly character driven. There's stories on the characters, and I didn't want to do that with this one. I wanted to make it narrative driven and basically more of a playground of systems that you can use. And I'm thinking about doing some sort of multiple endings, but it won't be like completely different things. They'll all be almost the same, but there'll be little differences in the multiple endings because it's easier to do it that way. I mean, realistically, I want to be like, oh yeah, there's like 100 endings and they're all completely different. Bullshit. That's really not going to happen. They're going to be basically the same with variances, and maybe you'll get an extra cutscene if you did this certain event. Maybe you'll get an extra cutscene if you did that event. If you beat this challenge, you'll get an extra cutscene at the end, you know? So that's how a lot of games do it, guys. I mean, even, what was it, Star Ocean? A lot of the endings were awesome, but they were just different events depending on what you did. You know, you get different cutscenes depending on what you did. So I sort of want to go like kind of that route with the Star Ocean. Also, I don't know, was it Star Ocean? There was another game that, like, after you beat the game, there was a new game plus, and you could basically go back into this dungeon. It was like an endless dungeon, and it randomly generated levels, and you started at level 1, and sort of like how Deepest Dungeon is in Final Fantasy XIV right now, the dank dungeon. Sort of like where, okay, all the items you get are temporary. At the end of the dungeon, they go away, but every 5 levels in the dungeon or whatever, you get a different colored chest, and that was a permanent item, a good item that you could get almost nowhere else in the game, and that item will stay with you even if you, even if you die in the dungeon or you exit the dungeon. That item would stay with you as like your reward for getting that far in the dungeon. And I want to do something like that, but I won't do that exactly like that. But something similar to that with a new game plus at the end, because I don't predict this to be super long. I'm thinking probably the storyline, if you rush through the storyline 3-4 hours. You know, if you rush the storyline 3-4 hours, that's kind of my goal for this. But if you take on the extra challenges, you're going to spend a lot of the time in combat, right? You're going to spend a lot of the time preparing your preparing your party members to take on challenges, and so a lot of it will revolve around the combat. And a lot of the fights I want to have some sort of strategy. I'm thinking of using a strategy used in Final Fantasy. What is it? Final Fantasy VI, the Magi Master. Did you guys play that game, Final Fantasy VI? It's an awesome RPG for Super Nintendo. I think it's on GBA as well, Game Boy. And it's on Steam now. It's an alright version on Steam. It's not too bad. Actually, it's pretty good. The first time I played it, I was kind of, I don't know, and I was using the controller, and there was some sort of little bit of delay, kind of a little clunky. But when I use the keyboard, there's no delay at all. So I just, even though I had a controller, I was like, I'm going to use it with the keyboard because I wanted to test them both. Keyboard is so much more smooth. And since I'm so used to playing RPG Maker games anyway, using a keyboard was just like second nature. And I rebinded the keys, so it's WASD movement, you know. And I want to be able to do that in this too, and I know there's a way I can do that. So I want to give the player the option to rebind keys. That's another thing I should think about adding. And now this forest passage is the same as the first forest passage, but the levels are different now. So now they're a higher level. And since I'm sort of cheesing it just to kind of progress with these high level abilities, it won't be much of a challenge. But you know, if I were to do this without having these abilities, it would be much more of a challenge, especially since I'm lacking 2 of the possible 6 party members that I've got. I also need to do another action sequence soon. I started working on CDC, Swan Song, but I haven't actually got very far with it. Because the thing is, I have how it looks in my head. All these other ones I've made, right, they're just like, I had like a general idea in my head of what I wanted to look like, and with the exception of Ice Beam, none of them came out how I wanted them to look. Originally thought they would look. But with CDC, since it's such like an iconic skill to me, I've seen it in Final Fantasy XI, and I know how it looks. I haven't figured that, I haven't got that to look right yet. So what I'm thinking about doing is just accepting a compromise. You know, when it looks decent, even if it doesn't look the same as it does in the Final Fantasy XI, then just say, hey, this isn't Final Fantasy XI, even though I'm taking a big influence on it. Change it up. It's going to look different. It's going to be, you know, you can't get everything. They're completely different games. It's an RPG Maker game, and Final Fantasy XI's a massive, it's an MMORPG, right? So the 2 different engines, you can't make it look the same. Even you can try, it just won't work, you know. And there's no point of spending extra hours trying to turn something that works into something that works, but it looks how it's supposed to look. Or I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. But what I'm going to do is basically just do it and be satisfied with the result if it doesn't look terrible. So this open hills is a replica of the first one. So that's what I'm saying. In the storyline, you're not going to have to do these. So this forest passage right here and this open hills right here are optional battles you won't have to do. However, you might want to do them one time because you'll get that first time reward. Also, this toll bridge won't be an actually, I don't know because I haven't got this far in my train of thought. If I should probably make it part of the main story quest to at least do it once, because it's gonna like, yeah, it's going to be a good idea to get rid of the bandits that are making people pay a toll on the bridge. So this one will be part of a story because it's also the first time you see this event. This is a rehash of the previous one, right? And this is a rehash of the first one. So these are basically optional. They won't be in the main storyline. But the next quest I'm going to add is also enemies for this area. So like a mountain pass. I'm also considering making this an exploration mission. Now, exploration missions are going to have random encounters, so it'll be different from how I do the world map. You don't actually have to get into a battle. You can cross the bridge, but you're going to be prompted to enter the toll bridge. So you can say not right now and get past. This I haven't made yet. This is just a copy paste of the toll bridge at a higher level, which this hasn't been done yet. So there's going to be something here. Haven't quite figured out what's going to be. See, now we're getting towards the end of actually what I have planned out. This is going to be something. Some event right here, maybe an optional, maybe not, maybe storyline, I don't know. This is going to be something, you know, storyline or not. This is going to be another exploration. This one is probably going to be optional. I think this is like, you're going to have something to do with this area, like to go to like a Coliseum. This is probably where you're going to get testimonies. You're going to take on challenges in the Coliseum, and this is where you're going to basically fight a lot of the bosses. Now, on the hilltop at the beginning of town, I have a little event where you can teleport to fight mega bosses, but it's only one boss, and it's just that, you know, half-baked idea. So I'm probably going to move that whole system into this Coliseum and have it like one grand area where you can fight different challenges, take on every class in the game, and also, like I said, hiring a mercenary. Not every mercenary is going to have is going to be able to be hired with the class that's in the game. There will be some custom classes that you can only get from the Coliseum by beating that class, getting the testimony, and then using the testimony to change your job into that. And then you'll be able to use the party members you already have and swap them out to a new job. They'll still get the parameter bonuses that you get from that Yanfly's stat bonus system. So this is, I think I've already put random encounters on this map. Probably gonna die here because I've added. If you guys watch my Let's Make a Monster, you'll recognize it. And I still haven't added the background to this map, so I need to do that. Okay, so we're basically done here. Holy crap, that's 51 minutes of showing off the game and talking about ideas and future plans. So, yeah, let's die here probably. Well, I'm kind of cheesing it. Actually, I want to show you the skills that this thing's got. Stoniga, Tail Swing, boom. It's going to turn me to stone, I believe, if I don't die. Level 30. Here we go. Stone, Gaze. 50% chance, right? Remember? We did a 50% chance. I like how it looked through the little black circles. We spent a little extra time on that, but it came out kind of cool. I want to see it land so you guys can see what happens. I'm thinking about adding, what do you call, a state animation on petrification. So we'll probably do that first real quick. We're going to change the background on this map to like an actual background. And we're going to make a state animation for petrification. You can see how rare it uses it, but it landed. So perfectly, 50% chance, use it twice, landed on the second try. So look, we're petrified. We had nobody in the party, turned to stone, no one's going to save you, you're dead. I didn't even have to press anything. I got petrified, now I was dead. So these creatures are pretty strong. They have that, also need a different game over screen. And also, when you die, I need to do something, because you know how I've got that custom starting menu, right? What I need to do is some sort of event that triggers it to start where it actually teleports you back to the start menu, not the start scene. This is the start scene. You can tell also because of how I've got the old art, not the new art from Assassin. So, Sinistar. So, I need to figure out some way to check can lose, and when you lose, the thing that happens is it teleports the player back to this map, or not this map, but to the start map, right? The start screen teleports you. You can see this one's different. Teleports you here instead of after the game over screen. You know, actually, it won't even hit game over screen. Yeah, so I need to do a lot. There's still a ton of stuff to do. You guys see how far this project's gone since it started months ago, and you can see how far it needs to go still. How long games, people underestimate how hard it is to make games all the time. It's a gigantic process, and when you try to take on lots of things that are going on, you want a lot of complex systems, you want to have a high level, you know, am I biting off too much, am I biting off more than I can chew? Possibly. But I'm aiming for the end of this year to have a final product that's good and I can be proud of, and I can put it on Steam, and you guys are going to get free codes, just so don't worry about that. It will be on Steam, it's going to be for sale, but you guys are going to get it for free. You guys are going to get it for free. So basically, there's a lot of projects that do this. They offer their project for free to the people who support them, but they also put it on Steam for the people who would like to buy it and support the game. So it will be there. You guys will be able to get this game, but I'm going to sell it, and it's nowhere near that stage of the game, so don't give me when. Now, I have sent out beta, right? Okay, so I've sent out beta versions of this. My Patreon backers, you guys have got at the appropriate levels. The people who have supported me at that level, check the rewards if you want to know how to do this. Those people have got beta versions of this project. So those projects are out. I'm waiting for feedback on that. Let me know if you find any bugs. Thank you very much for your support and for helping me beta test. And even if you don't want to write them down and you just want to play and enjoy it, that's okay too. Thank you for your support. Oh yeah, before I forget, right? Like I've done 100 times. Let's go to that map by Buried in Ashes. Buried in Ashes has contacted me. He's working on some new maps for the project, guys. So this is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be awesome. He's got some new ideas for dungeons and stuff. Yeah, let's edit this and go ahead and do the battle back. We needed to figure out a battle back for it. So what is it gonna look like? We got a tower in the background. We're like sort of in the bush. We've got like. What do we do now? I'm so sick of looking at these battle backs. I want to add some new battle backs. This could possibly work. Now, what kind of... like a decayed tower... I mean, these aren't bad, don't get me wrong. These look really good, but I'm just kind of sick of them, right? This might work too. Something like that. No, because this looks to me like there's too many houses. Not really houses. It's like a tower. These are futuristic, which would be kind of cool. But it doesn't. It has to make sense. It doesn't make sense yet. So we're not gonna get to that point in the game yet. Oh man, come on, something with a messed up tower. Battle back. I have added some custom ones, some free resources, Creative Commons, but man, there's really nothing that kind of works perfectly for it, right? So this like kind of tree, bramble, swampy forest thing that works for the ground. I'm gonna have to compromise again and settle for what I actually like. Let's just go with some green back. Green background like that could work, but I mean there's like stone in the ground too, and there's like tower, like a messed up tower. So it's really, this is the best I can think of. This is the best that maybe this. Let me take a look at this again and change that up so that it matches better or something. Let's go with that. Okay, I like this because there's grass and there's stone. And there's grass and there's stone. So this is the best thing we can find for now. We don't want to disable dashing. We're going to add more encounters as we do the next episode of Let's Make a Monster. We'll get to that. That's coming up pretty soon. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. We'll figure it out. So yeah, we fixed that. What else was I going to do? Oh yeah, I need to fix some quick things on some of the maps from Noob. The region restrictions, which we can do super fast. So there were a few maps, a few places on the map that had a lack of collision. So let's just fix that real quick. Okay, here we go. I remember it was this tile, right? And this one up here. So let's go to the draw layer. Let's go to the regions section. We're going to say red, boom. Can't travel on that one. Also, we're going to have to block that one off to eliminate the jumping off the cliff thing. Well, jumping off the cliff is fine, but just teleporting up the cliff is kind of stupid. We're going to do that. Make sure the player can't walk right there. Oh well, I mean, it's better than breaking, having no logic to it. So we fixed that as far as like, oh, I also wanted to do passable, right? Remember I said I wanted to do passable right here? We want this thing to be passable, and I want that to be passable too. So we'll do like that. Save that. We could test out real quick, but I already know, I'm pretty positive it's going to work. We'll test it later. Let's get back to the event layer. Get rid of that. Okay. We did the battle backs, right? Oh, state animation on the petrification. So we need to find an animation that we like, or create one that's going to basically repeat itself when you become petrified. So let's, I know what I'll do. Let's take like the earth one, or no, let's do a random one. I like this idea. Let's just, because we're gonna change it up completely. We want about 10 frames, not too much more than 10 frames. What about? No, way too much. Too over the board, overboard. What is this? No. Something that's like emanating from the center. That's perfect. We're gonna take this, go to the bottom, we're gonna add it, and we're gonna paste it, and we're gonna say Petri state effect. Now what we're gonna do is change this to Earth and see if it'll actually work. What does this do? You know, it's similar because I know that they copy pasted a lot of their patterns when they made the default. I found this. You'll see a lot of the patterns are they did the same. They used this trick to make their default RTP. They created a few patterns. You got 120 animations, right? And out of those 120 animations, you have probably like 40, 50 patterns. So they copy pasted their own patterns, guys. So you may even come across this when you're copy pasting patterns. You're like, hey, this looks like if I take this skill and put this image set on it, it looks like this regular skill, this other one, because they did the same thing. This is how I know they did. Boom, well, no, that whole spike at the end. Well, we can cut that, right? We can get rid of that ending part. Boom, 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 boom. All of this isn't even being used. So we'll get rid of that. So that dust, we can also change from center to head, and it'll bring it up some. But it's going to look like, I don't know. Let's just try some more before we settle. I don't know if this one's going to, no, because you're not exploding, right? No, this is not going to work either. What about this one? No, that's not going to work either. No, that's more of an attack. I sort of like this one or the first one. Let's go to the first one. Can we make it like a brighter? We'll just keep it that. Boom. That looks more of an... That's okay, I figured out. We're going to go 2. We're going to go like this a little bit just to make it look a little different. Boom. We're going to change the position to head so it brings it up, right? That'll look like it's on its feet even. Boom. And we're going to cut off about half of it. Boom, 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 boom. We don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want that. Nor that. Maybe that last frame. So it's going to go like this. It's a state effect. We don't need a sound effect, right? We don't need a flash. It's going to just repeat itself. Boom, boom. But we also need to make it small so it's not like ridiculously huge, right, and obnoxious. So we're going to batch the whole thing. We're going to scale it down to, I don't know, let's do 100%, see what it looks like then. Boom. Perfect, 100%. I like it. I like it. So let's apply that. Let's go to, okay, look at the number, 506. Go to states. We're going to pick petrification. Where's it at? It is somewhere. Here it is, petrified. So we're gonna go state animation colon 506. Is that what I said? I think I said 506. Hit apply. State animation 506. Let's look at the. We'll double check. Yep, 506. So yeah, we're gonna do that. So when you're petrified, it's not going to have an overlay or anything. We could make it overlay, but no, let's just do state animation. But I want to test it. I just want to test it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this as a passive state. So it's basically going to be a game over but we're going to see what it looks like, right? So passive state 29. Let's give it to this person, yeah. Passive state 29. Okay, let's just go here, player, and let's get ourselves killed, but we were going to look to see if this petrification looks right, our state effect on the petrification. There it is. And it's just going to keep doing that because we're petrified, we don't have a turn. Boom, got him. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Let's Make a Game. I gave you a lot about what to look forward to, what I'm working on. You've seen some of the things that I've added recently. Lots of little changes are coming, lots of new systems I'm working on. Possibly a collaboration with another YouTuber in the near future. Look forward to that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed these Let's Make a Game episodes and you like to see other people's working on their project while you're working on your project, let me know. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're into this sort of thing. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Hold up.